Welcome to Seaway Whiskywire. Tonight on the bar, we've got the Yellowstone Select Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Stay tuned. Well, hey guys, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and tonight on the bar, we've got the Yellowstone Select Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And before we get into the specs and the history and whatnot of the bottle, I just wanted to give some disclosure on this here. So this was something that was provided to me, provided to the channel from the folks over at Lux Row. So thank you folks at Lux Row for sending me the bottle for my review. And I will be providing my closest thing to an unbiased review on this particular product, this Yellowstone Select. But I just want to make sure everyone's clear on that it wasn't something that was donated to the channel. So again, thank you, Lux Row, and I'll be providing my honest opinion of the product. So before we get into everything, the specs and the history, if you guys got something at home there, some Yellowstone Select, you got something other from Yellowstone, a Lux Row product, Ellsworth Brooks, you got yourself another bourbon, you want to pour along and drink with me, please do so. I encourage it. Makes life a heck of a lot better for you on the other end, and I enjoy you guys drinking along with me, so please go do that. And with that, let's get into a little bit of the background on the Yellowstone bourbon and kind of its history. So Yellowstone bourbon holds a storied history that dates back to the late 19th century, and it was originally created by J.B. Dant, who was a renowned distiller who hailed from a long line of bourbon makers. And Dant established his distillery in the heart of Kentucky, which is known for its rich bourbon making traditions. The Yellowstone brand gained prominence and is recognized for its exceptional quality and uniqueness of its flavor profile, which is attributed to Dant's meticulous attention to detail and traditional distillation methods. And the bourbon quickly garnered a loyal following amongst enthusiasts and connoisseurs alike. However, like many distilleries in the late 20th century, Yellowstone was faced with challenges due to Prohibition. And Prohibition was a nationwide alcohol ban in the U.S. that forced many distilleries to close their doors or pivot to alternative means for survival. So some of these guys, they went and rebranded some of their bourbon or their alcohol making as medicinal and what have you during Prohibition. So following the repeal of Prohibition in 1933, the brand changed hands several times, with different owners attempting to revive and refine the brand and the legacy of Yellowstone. And despite changes in ownership, their commitment to quality and craftsmanship remained the same and consistent throughout the brand's history. In recent years, Yellowstone bourbon has experienced a renaissance, thanks mainly to the efforts of the Limestone Branch Distillery under the stewardship of Steve and Paul Beam. The descendants of the legendary Beam family, Limestone Branch Distillery has revitalized the brand while staying true to its heritage. And today, Yellowstone bourbon continues to uphold its reputation for excellence, offering a range of expressions that showcase the rich traditions of craftsmanship of American bourbon. With its deep roots in history, unwavering dedication to quality, Yellowstone bourbon remains a beloved choice among bourbon enthusiasts worldwide. And I'm going to definitely put that to the test today when we try this bourbon, because I'm fairly new to bourbon, but I do have some interesting things to say about this particular bottle of bourbon. So with that, let's get into the presentation of the bottle here. So the bottle is fairly plain, I would say. It doesn't have a whole lot going on for it here. The label is nice. There's a little waterfall picture here. You get a picture of the distillery, and that's pretty much it. There's a little bit of information on the back about the history and whatnot, some tasting notes and marketing information, but net, it's just kind of plain to me. I'm also not a fan of the cork. The cork is very small, and it's just kind of very synthetic and it's just not very a great cork. I wish they had a better cork. One that kind of planed out a little bit over the sides would be nice. Anyways, as far as the presentation, it gets a 50% from me. I'm not really against it. I'm not really for it, and you need to get a better cork. Let's start with that. So we'll get into the pour and see what we got inside the bottle, and take a look at the liquid of the Yellowstone Select. So we'll go in close to take a look at the color here. So you get that nice kind of golden amber yellow color to it there. And again, 4-year-old and 7-year-old bourbons make up the make of this, and high percentage of corn in the mash bill. But obviously, it's mainly imparted by the virgin oak barrels for sure. But yeah, nice amber gold color, and yeah, looks like a bourbon, if I can say that. It's actually a little bit lighter than some bourbons I've seen, if that makes any sense. So with that, we'll get into the nose of the Yellowstone Select and see what we can come out of the nose. So hopefully you're drinking along with me, and we'll hop into the nose together here. interesting nose. So on the nose, I'm getting some honey, like clover honey. It's a very much a sweeter honey, but not like a synthetic. It's not like a real honey bomb. It's kind of honey with a little bit of flower note in it there too. I'm getting some toffee on there as well, brown sugar. Some vanilla. And there's like some spice in there too. And the spice is kind of like you can really smell like the barrels, the oak in there. Some rye spice as well. You get a little orange zest too. And then maybe on the tail end, I get a little bit of banana in there too. A little bit of banana. Yeah. So with that, let's get into the tasting notes on the Yellowstone Select Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey and see what we can get. So cheers to your health, and let's dive into it. Here we go. So I will say, when I first tried this bourbon back in, I think I said it was February. I was at a show, or I was at Whiskey Wonderland, and I tried this bourbon. And I think at the time I said, hey, look, this bourbon's really good. I really enjoy it. It's very Scotch-like. I'm going to change my opinion a little bit of that, but I will say it doesn't drink like most bourbons. It's not a vanilla oak bomb kind of thing. You get the honey in there, and you get that toffee, that brown sugar, but it's not like super, super, super sweet. It's very much more of that honey sweetness. There's no big vanilla, sugary, icing sugar kind of notes to it. There is vanilla, don't get me wrong, but it's very much natural. It's a more natural flavor as well. So yeah, honey, toffee, brown sugar, vanilla, which are all common bourbon notes, but again, it's reserved. It's not as sweet forward, which, being more of a Scotch guy, I really appreciate with this bourbon. Yeah. And then in the back there, you get this nice little oak hug, cinnamon, sugar, but it's more cinnamon than sugar. You get that rye spice, those cinnamon, the clove notes, and then a little bit of leather at the back end. This is maybe where I kind of had that more Scotch flavor into it, or those notes. Where else do you get leather? But I do enjoy this bourbon a lot, and it's I've only had it for a little bit, and I've already kind of drank it almost to the label now. But yeah, it's a two-step kind of process, or two-step flavor profile, which I find a lot of bourbons are. But this is actually one that I like because, again, it's not super sweet, and I can appreciate that. And that's really what kind of turns me off more about bourbons, is how sweet they can be, and sweet forward, and just all that kind of sugary sweetness. This is much more reserved. This is the notes I like without all the sweetness. So we'll leave the flavor profile at that, and with that we'll get on to the finish. So the finish for the Yellowstone Select, so it's a shorter finish, which is okay. I don't think it really matters so much. It's kind of there, gone, and I'm fine with that. It's sweeter as it sits on your tongue, but it's not big sweetness. It's not cinnamon buns or anything like that. It's just very much this nice. It gets sweeter as you kind of sit with it on your tongue. It dries out your mouth a little bit, and gives you that dry mouth feel as well, but it's a smooth bourbon, and I can appreciate it. I'm going to go in for one more sip here, just because I want to, because I'm enjoying it, but also just to make sure I'm confirming everything with you guys. Yeah. It's just a well-rounded bourbon, and it's approachable, and it's not going to turn other if you're into Scotch, if you're into Irish whiskey, but you don't like that sweetness, this is definitely a dram you're going to enjoy, and this is something you're going to want to grab, because it doesn't have all those upfront sweet, and it's not you don't get that kind of like ethanol kind of like alcohol burn at all. It's very much an easy sipping, drinking bourbon with all those notes, those two-step flavor profile, and it's all stuff that I can get behind. So with that, we'll get into the value proposition on the Yellowstone Select. So in my area at the LCBO, comes in around $70. $70 is, you know, $15 higher than some other premium bourbons or other like comparable bourbons, I would say. What can I say to make you go spend the extra $15? Because quite frankly, I think you should. Again, I think I've said it, but it's an easy sipper. It's not too complex, but it's a good entry into Yellowstone's lineup. And, you know, I'm interested to see what else they have out there coming. I know I've got another one they've sent me over that I haven't even cracked the top on yet, so I'll get into that probably the next couple of weeks here and see what else they have to offer their lineup. But yeah, this is, if you're a Scotch drinker or new to whiskey, or you know, have had bourbon before but just don't like the big sweet sugar forward notes, then this is something you got to try. This could probably change your mind on bourbon. At least it has for me. You know, it's not just sweet vanilla oak, boom. It's really got it's really got a lot more to it than that, and it's a lot more approachable and easy for me to get into. And, you know, I don't always want a sweet dram. I want to have something that's you know, got my honey notes and my vanilla and my brown sugar and toffee and whatever, but I don't want it to be super sweet. So that's what I think this particular product brings in. So that's my review of the Yellowstone Select Kentucky Straight Bourbon, and I hope you go out and give it a shot, because, you know, this was the one that kind of got me talking to them. This is the one that really got me interested in the brand, and I'm super glad they sent me over this bottle, as well as, you know, some Ellsworth Brooks and some other Yellowstone products that we'll get into down the road. But yeah, that's what I think you should do. I think you should definitely go out and try this bottle, because it'll be good, especially if you're a Scotch drinker. You'll be glad you did. And with that, we'll wrap things up. So if you like what we're doing here at Seaway Whiskey Wire, you guys know that drill. Like and subscribe down below. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Seaway Whiskey Wire. And if you're still hanging around this far into the video, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel. Love bringing these videos to you as often as I can. I do put a lot of time and effort into them, so I appreciate you guys hanging around till the end. And yeah, I got some more bourbon coming up from the folks at Lux Row there. And I got some more whiskey reviews and some other sample reviews and some cocktail slams coming. So stick around for those, and we'll see you around in a little bit. So cheers to your health, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now, guys.